Hey guys, my name is Amadea and today I am painting an original Ariel watercolor painting, and this is based on one of the digital paintings I did of our Ariel in a modern outfit that's been so popular. And I am recently starting to get into more traditional ways of drawing because I've only been doing digital art for the past 2 or 3 years. And I got a watercolor set for my birthday last year, and I thought how amazing would it be to just kind of try out hand drawing and hand painting, because I always admire watercolor paintings of others so much. And so you will be seeing my process in this video from start to finish. I had to speed up the video a little bit so that it won't take hours and hours to just watch me do this. But I hope it will be insightful, and meanwhile you guys watch me paint, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story of art, how I got to love art, the story throughout my life of me aspiring to do art and now that I'm doing it every day, all day, and how that's been going for me. So stay tuned, let's get started. Just a side note, you guys can see here how I'm using my iPad as a light box, which is just such a super cool feature. And this helps me save time because it might even take me, 4 or 5 hours to draw this drawing exactly how it looks like already on paper. And so I'm tracing my own drawing that I already spent like 20 hours making digitally. And here, I am just trying to put the features in the right place, and then I'm looking at the little photo on the left corner to make sure that I'm drawing it accurately, because this is a watercolor paper and a lot of the details don't perfectly show through, so I have to kind of use and rely on my eye also besides tracing my drawing. So as far as my love for art and Disney movies, it started such a long time ago, and it's actually funny how I remember my very first memory ever of being encountered with Disney movies, because I was about 3 or 4 years old and I was at my grandparents' house laying in bed in the living room because I was sick and I just felt so miserable. And I remember waiting for my grandma and grandpa to come in and play with me or pay attention to me, and I didn't know where they were. And then suddenly they popped their heads in through the door, and I just remember both of them holding up a VHS of one Disney movie, and that VHS my grandma was holding was The Lion King, and the VHS my grandpa was holding was the 101 Dalmatians. And as soon as I saw that colorful cartoon drawing on the cover of these VHSs, my heart lit up. I became so happy and excited. I probably didn't even know what VHS was, but I just knew it in my heart. This is a special moment, and I still remember it even though I was pretty young. And from then on, my grandpa and I just started this awesome adventure of him sharing his love for art with me. He would paint in his free time a lot. He was a lawyer, but he was doing it as a hobby, and he would tell me how there is this man called Walt Disney and he's amazing at drawing, and how when he was at the United States, he would go to the company that he created and would see people hand draw characters through a window. And he would also talk to me about how amazing animation was, and specifically how animation is made up of lots of drawings, and how when you put all those drawings together they create a live image. And I was just fascinated by this. He even had a little book. It was a little booklet with Mickey Mouse, and it had drawings of the Mickey Mouse, and if you flipped it through very fast with your fingers, then it would come alive, because you would flip through the little book and then the drawings would be in sequence, and so that would create movement. And I would just love that idea. And I was so little, I was in kindergarten, but I kept asking him to show me that book. I kept watching him paint. And then as I got older, I just wanted to watch Disney movies all day, every day. I would ask my grandpa to pause the VHS for me and then draw the certain scene that we paused the VHS on, I would very frequently ask him to draw princesses for me so that after he is done with the drawing, I could color them. And I very vividly remember me asking him to draw Snow White a lot of times, or Jasmine. And there were just this scene with Jasmine when her and Aladdin are sitting on top of the roof, and Jasmine puts her head on his shoulder, and I thought she was so beautiful in that scene, so I just wanted him to draw her in that moment. And I remember he liked the moment better when Jasmine was smirking at Aladdin and playing with the apple, and I just thought I wanted her with that closed smile, dreamy face instead. But I just remember how we were kind of arguing over which scene is better for my grandpa to try to draw while the VHS was stopped. But that's just so special for me to think about, because nowadays you can just take a photo with your phone or trace drawings in Procreate. You don't even need tracing paper or anything. And I remember back in the day we had to stop with a VHS and look at the TV screen or use tracing paper. And I would so frequently use tracing paper, and I would just look for books that had beautiful artworks in it so I could trace them. And I remember finding this Anastasia book in first grade in the school library. I was just so excited when I found that book. It was a picture book with all the scenes from Anastasia. And the rule in the first grade school library was that you had to take the books back at the end of the day, or maybe you could keep them for a week, I can't remember. But I would literally go to the library every chance I got, and I feel like that was every day, to get the Anastasia book and take it with me. And I would just trace the Anastasia faces, and I just wanted nothing more in the whole world than to draw so beautifully than all these Disney movies and animated movies had in them, especially the princess drawings. And so that is the beginning of my story. I hope that was not too long and you guys could relate, but now I'm gonna get into how that kind of evolved me as an adult and doing art full time. Meanwhile, you guys can see that I started painting Ariel with watercolor, and I must admit, watercolor is something that I'm just getting into, so the methods I'm using could be greatly improved, and I am on that journey. I'm by no means a watercolor expert, and so I'm just showing my process here, but not necessarily trying to teach you guys anything, because I honestly don't know what I'm doing perfectly, but I'm trying every day and trying to get better. So here I'm just filling in all the colors with a basic shade first, and then I'm gonna, as you will see, go over it with darker shades and then add some details, and just trying to work on it until it all looks right. So fast forward from my childhood, I was a little bit older. I was in middle school, and I was super duper tall as a kid. I am 6'3" inch tall, 190 centimeter tall as an adult. So even in, like 6th or 7th grade, I was one of the tallest kids. And there was a basketball craze going around town, as my hometown Pécs in Hungary, where I was born, had the top 3 best basketball teams in Europe. And so everyone was going to games, and all my friends were going to play basketball, and so I had to go with them, and that's how I got into basketball at first, but also because I was super tall, it was kind of given. And I also went to swimming before that, but I really didn't like swimming. It was just too boring for me. So as I started playing basketball, I would just take my drawing pads, my papers, my colored pencils everywhere with me on all the tournaments we would play in. I was about 12 or 13 years old at the time, and I was playing basketball for a couple of years, but all I could think of was just, if we go for a whole day and gonna have 2 games, then we're gonna have a 3-hour break in between the 2 games, and I could just sit in the corner and do a new drawing of some girl with a cool outfit or something. That's all I would do at the time, is girls with cool outfits, or Disney princesses, of course. So I just have this vivid memory that I went to the Walmart of Hungary, which is called Tesco. So we went to Tesco, which is a big retail store, with my mom. and we were looking for a pencil case, a pencil holder for me, and I could not make up my mind between two pencil case holder. One of them was fluffy and had a picture of Winnie the Pooh on it, and it was just fluffy and Winnie the Pooh, and then the other one had a kind of this basketball sporty outside, and it was like a lenticular material, so it kind of, the picture kind of changed from the basketball players on it. And I remember just standing there feeling paralyzed because my mom would tell me how cool that basketball pencil case looked, and my heart just wanted the fluffy Winnie the Pooh pencil case so bad. And my mom told me it's my decision, pick whichever one you want, but this basketball one looks super cool. And then she proceeded to tell me how this super badass basketball player would definitely pick the basketball pencil case, and then this other basketball player who was kind of like benched all the time and she would just always look pretty on the bench, she would be picking the Winnie the Pooh one. And I just felt like I am supposed to pick the basketball pencil case holder because that's what I want to be. I want to be that badass, but my heart just wanted the other one. And I felt so torn between this image of what people expect of me and what I'm supposed to be and how I really felt. And this is just actually really crazy to reflect back on. I haven't thought of this story for such a long time, but it's so true. I think we face this problem in our day-to-day, even still as an artist. We constantly fight what the world wants us to be, and just so many times nowadays artists are not really appreciated or recognized as a real profession or craft in society, and people many times interpret what we do or just misunderstand us. So that is kind of something I'm still struggling with, but I'm working through it day by day, especially because I have this basketball past and business past, but enough of that, we'll get to that later. So that was kind of me in middle school. And then as the time went by, I just started noticing that basketball really required me to just get my head in the game. And when I was drawing princesses in between games, I just kind of became this soft, dreamy version of myself that was completely not what was needed from me on the court, to just fight and just get that fighter spirit out of me. The two just didn't work together. And so that is kind of where I remember last doing art in my day-to-day, around when I was 12. And then I started just diving into basketball, and then all I was doing was just basketball every day, practice every day, tournaments every weekend. I even played on the national team every summer, so I was in training camp all summer. And that was my life between 13 and 23. So for 10 years of my life, we would go to the European Championship tournaments, and I got recruited to play Division I college basketball. And it was actually really, really amazing time of my life. I just discovered deep inside me how much I loved to perform, how much I became a different version of myself when I was able to be on the court, and when my name would be on the paper, it just filled me up. So it was really perfect, and it taught me so much about what I'm capable of and fighting and how to achieve your dreams and what's impossible. So I'm forever grateful for that, next to all the amazing travel experience that I got and my education and coming to the US. So that's kind of just a little snippet of how my basketball time was happening and how I wasn't able to do art meanwhile. And then of course, in college too, and choosing education, there is no such thing as a university where you can do Division I basketball when you get a full ride scholarship, but at the same time do art full-time, because usually art programs just require all your effort and you're there all day, all afternoon, all evening in the studio practicing, defining your craft. So both of the things are kind of a full-time thing. So because of that, I just chose basketball at the time. But then I graduated college and I got a job in accounting because that was my degree. So I would do accounting for 4 years after college, but meanwhile I just always had this dream in the back of my mind how much I just loved art and creating, and the feeling of watching an animated movie. You know, when Raya and the Last Dragon came out, I was just sitting in the theater crying, wishing that I would be able to create something like a drawing or a painting anywhere close to that, or maybe even have my name in the credits of a Disney movie. And just imagining that I would read every single name of the credits of Disney movies or any animated movie, because I just felt, oh my god, every single person on there must be so thankful and so excited that they can be in the credits, and they deserve me reading their names. And so I would do this so many times, just watch the credits roll. Prince of Egypt is such an amazing movie. I remember me watching the credits for the whole time, and just even looking up some of the people on Google. And so those are the little things I would do while working in accounting. But then after that, my husband 1 year surprised me with a digital tablet. Well, actually it was an iPad where I could draw and Procreate for Christmas. And as soon as I got my hands on that iPad, something clicked in my brain, and I knew that I just want to try this out and be all in, and that, you know, I can't lose anything at this point. Let's just try to do art every day and try to figure out this social media thing. And I just imagined myself 3, 5, 10 years from then and drawing beautiful mermaids or princesses that I saw other people do. And I totally felt like it's out of reach and it's impossible for me. But knowing that so many people before me did it already gave me hope, and it just gave me that plus to just keep going and push forward and hope that one day I will get there too. So here we go to the story of when I started actually doing art. I was 26 at the time when I got my iPad, just shy of 27 in a couple months. So this was 2019 Christmas. And I remember the first couple months I was struggling so bad. I could not even draw a line that was pretty. All my lines were so choppy. The features of the face of the characters I drew were all over the place. I could not even draw a pose without tracing it. I felt so lost and so hopeless. I remember trying to copy exactly another artist's work of a mermaid sitting on a rock, and it took me like 20 hours to just even figure out how to make it look similar with just using the same colors. But I had no idea how to even color in Procreate or anything, and I was so frustrated. I might tell my husband, I can't do this, this is impossible. I would be anxious all day, but I kept pushing, and I kept spending 5 hours on my iPad every day after work. And meanwhile, I thought, what can I lose? I'm just gonna make an Instagram and try to figure out how this Instagram thing works and document my whole journey. So I posted my first couple drawings and find amazing community with artists like me who just started out. And I actually kind of went crazy at the time with Instagram. I would just try to know everyone and message everyone every day and focus on the community and empowering everyone. And I felt a little burned out after doing that for like 5 to 6 months. I just felt like I felt depleted because I was just trying to give so much positivity to everyone all the time, and it's almost like I didn't have anything left in me when it came to art. But it was just such an amazing lesson, and I met so many amazing people. But I also realized that I need to shift a little bit and maybe focus on more my art and less the social media. But you know, that's a balance we're constantly always trying to juggle. And of course I was in that too, just trying to do it all. So after 6 months to a year trying to do this, I started getting my first couple commissions, and I remember I charged like so much less than I'm charging now, like, you know, like $20 to $30, and I would spend 20 hours on this artwork and charge $30 for it. And after doing that on a couple artworks, I was just thinking, oh my god, this is insane. There is no way I could emotionally keep up with this. But I also felt so happy and just I felt so special that even anyone would consider commissioning me, so that part was awesome, but I definitely had to find healthy boundaries. And I also started doing commissions for pin makers, and they would ask me to draw Disney princesses, which was completely new at the time. I actually haven't even noticed how much I would love drawing Disney princesses somehow. But as I was doing the commissions, I kind of picked up on how to make the princesses look more like themselves, how to make their features look like themselves. And that was a revelation for me. I just had this moment when I thought, I'm just gonna make my own collection now. I'm gonna try to draw modern princesses and I'm gonna give each of them their own little drink. I'm obsessed with awesome, like cute drinks like bubble tea, and I like to make my coffee with foam. If you follow me on Instagram, you see me a lot posting the coffee I make with foam and honey. It's just so yummy. So that's why I thought, princesses with drinks, that sounds super fun. And as I was starting that series, I thought of making them into stickers, and I actually did make some of the designs I did for the pin makers into stickers before, and that was very fun. I got some sticker orders because one of my Instagram posts kind of took off. At the time, I got like 15,000 views on this one post about one of my stickers, which got me like 30 orders or so on Etsy, and I was just so excited. That's kind of how it all started, and I realized, oh my god, like Disney princess stickers are kind of working because it's something I love doing, and it's something where people love getting them and they connect with it too, just like I am. And so after selling the stickers for about a year, and my husband had to move cities for jobs, and so I quit my full-time job at the time to move with him. And at the new location, I was gonna get a new job, but then by the time I was getting so many commissions and just doing my shop, that I decided to take a chance, and I was definitely not making enough to just support myself alone. But it kind of worked out where I could pursue this, and that's when I found Pop Shop Life too, which has been an amazing experience. The community there is so amazing, and that's also allowed me to expand my Disney princess collection and all the amazing people I met there. And so that is where I'm at today, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next. And this is the watercolor painting. I hope you guys enjoy this process. Love you all.